Our next speaker models precisely what the arts have to bring to the sciences and to the academy at large. He has inspired similar programs to the ones he's going to talk about around the country, including here at the University of California.
So what I'd like to do is really jump in and start throwing different examples at you to give you a taste of the ways that theater can be applied. It's a bit counterintuitive, but it's at the end that I'd like to talk about structures and budgets and some of those details, but to really help give an experience. Milestones, I wanted to give as a case study. Milestones was created over a 4-month period, and our goal was to create a production about medical professionalism, so professionalism in medicine. All the research and work I did to try to understand the definition of professionalism basically kept coming back to these elements. These were the elements I saw as a trend in all these definitions of professionalism. So clearly the play was going to be about, everything. So the question, how to get to a production that somehow three-dimensionally depicts issues and dynamics related to professionalism. We ended up with a 2-act play. The first act is medical school in 15 minutes. Shakespeare in 15 minutes, this is medical school in 15 minutes. So all the trends, the stories that I heard, all these pivotal moments and the dynamics. With 4 actors, 1 actress playing the specific character from beginning to end, and the other 3 actors shifting, coming different people to bring to life some of those situations, dynamics, and relationships. And then Act 2, we jump 3 years later and meet again Melinda, Dr. Smith, where all these various elements combine to create that nightmare shift, the way the system hits individual and individual hits system. So an opportunity to look at the system of education, what she learned, where she learned it, how she learned it, the dynamics, and how that might be connected to and associated 3 years later with the way that the hospital is operating. So this grid is Act 2. This is 18 minutes of what eventually results in a code for a patient. The lab, working on a cadaver, studying the ways in which these medical students are absolutely overwhelmed with information, with studying. In this case, animation, words pile and actually engulf her in the light. And then Act 2, as we see the flowchart appear behind her. And this is a medical student taking a consult call that's piped in. So the idea is after these productions to be able to get behind the scene further and talk to the characters. So find out what motivated someone to do something they did or why they didn't do something they did. So I wanted to give you a chance to meet one of the characters from the production. And his name is Dr. Jones. Who are you?
I'm Em.
M&M.
And Melinda.
Yeah, you don't scrub before the surgeon?
That's all right.
Have you ever been in surgery before?
Nope.
Right. Do you know what we're doing today?
A rotator cuff.
Yeah, what are the typical steps for repairing a rotator cuff?
You remove fragments of tendons, bursa. You make room for the tendon.
Why?
So it isn't irritated, you need to shape the bone.
Then what?
You sew the edges of the saphenous and spinatus.
Okay, saphenous, you want to give the shoulder an antipsychotic. That's great. You're not allowed in my room. A medical student's job is to be prepared. If you haven't done the reading and you don't know the anatomy, you're going to kill someone.
Sorry.
There isn't a thought in your head I'm going to find illuminating. Now to you, if you could take a minute to talk to someone next to you, if you could ask Dr. Jones a question or make any comment to him, what might it be? If you could take a minute, talk to someone next to you and think about that. Great, just to give you a taste. For the next couple minutes, I'm going to be Dr. Jones, so questions or comments that you have.
Our table asks you need a hug.
I'm fine, thank you. Yes?
Do you think that interaction facilitates learning?
I absolutely do.
Can you tell in what way?
Well, she needs to understand exactly how serious this is, and I am pretty confident that if any of you have a loved one, patient, or family member that I'm about to perform surgery on, you wouldn't want her in the room. You wouldn't want someone potentially tripping over something. You wouldn't want someone in the way. Medical students have to know what they're doing at all times. It's part of the training.
Yes. Would you have acted differently if he was a male?
I would not have acted differently, no.
Would you have acted differently if she was your daughter?
She was my daughter. I would make sure she was not at the same university I was at. Yes?
Where did you learn your style of teaching?
From the docs before me. It's a model that worked for me. I think it's a model that works. Yes? How easy was it for me to forget my own process under training? I mean, I deserve to have my hand slapped. It's part of the strengthening. It's part of what's necessary to create a good doc and a good surgeon. If she can't handle it, then she may be one of the 10, 15% who should not be in medical school. Here and then here, the last two.
Yes. How many students do you lose with this process?
About 10, 15%. I'll take one more.
Is there a way to have the same result of not having her in the room, but give her faith that she can learn that to be in the room?
I don't have time for that. Right. Dr. Jones is gone. So, I would not normally play him, because first of all, that was scary. I don't like that. But the idea is that it's an opportunity to really look and explore and talk about, okay, intentions and behavior. What does Dr. Jones value? You know, and I guess I should ask you, so what does Dr. Jones value? And I'll try to say this. Yes? Clinical competence? Efficiency? Toughness? His time. Natural selection. A great list. One more. Reliability. Yeah, so here's the behavior, here's the intention, here's the value system. And so an opportunity to work with the audience to talk about, okay, well, given all that, where is the line between educating, strengthening, humiliating, hazing? So the idea is when we engage the docs is a lot of them really find the situation pretty fuzzy depending upon where they are, is where was the line crossed, where wasn't it crossed? So again, where I started with this as a case study was just to think about how might theater be used to present, portray the accumulative day-to-day aspects of climate or culture. What does it look like? Theater really as a craft, I think, represents a great opportunity to bring the familiar into an unfamiliar space. So to make alive various moments, but in a new way from a distance.